take some questions. Mr. Kheruka, thanks very much as always for being here on CNBC TV 18. Let's start with that margin compression detailing, if we can, Mr. Kheruka. What happened and how are things panning out in Q3 so far? Are things easing out a little bit?
What happened, of course, was that there has been an increase in the cost of input. That is one. The second is that we are ready to commission our next furnace, the SG3, in a matter of weeks now, and we have obviously had employment for that. So our employment bill has gone up, but there has been no corresponding sales coming out from that furnace yet. So the costs are being borne by the existing business. And at the moment, whatever costs we had, for which we saw escalation, seem to have flattened out. So now what we need to see is how prices are going to prevail coming in from China. We've just heard news last week that prices have gone up by 5% in China. So that should that bodes well for us. And of course, having acquired this company in Germany, we have greater access to the European market, which gives us better realizations than here. So that is also a positive thing in our favor.
Okay, all right. Good morning, Mr. Kheruka. Well, let's take it piece by piece then. You said that your margins got impacted because it could be probably a one-time manpower cost, since the cost is being incurred, a one-time cost, and the revenue is not really happening. So on a steady state, what should the margins look like from here on? Because they've slid drastically in the last few quarters. So what is the band you should be comfortable with? And given that you're going to be commissioning this new unit, which will be effectively doubling your domestic capacity, for Q4, do we see peak utilization levels out there from the expanded unit?
The demand for glass is enormous. And we do not see any problem at all in selling 100% of the new production. In fact, a lot of glass is already being imported, and we shall just step in to replace the imported glass. So sales is not an issue at all. The only question here is the question of the input costs. And the input costs are there. You see, even with all of this, the EBITDA percentage is still 26%, which is not bad. I think what is happening is that we are suffering from comparison in the past. At one point, I think in the third quarter of the year 2021, we had very robust earnings because the prices had risen in China very, very dramatically. Prices had doubled there. And so we were able to get those earnings. But what we are seeing now is a steady state kind of thing. And I do not see that there should be too much of a problem going forward.
Mr. Kheruka, I think the reason we're asking you is also because not only have the cost of input prices gone up, but there's a lot of cheap glass being manufactured right across the world, whether it's in Vietnam, Malaysia, and the operating cost is cheaper there. So the competitive environment has also gone up. Given all of this, will it be easy for you to maintain these 26% margins, or could it get worse before it gets better?
Let me correct any misconceptions anybody has about cheap glass. There's no such thing as cheap glass. Okay. The glass being made in Vietnam, in Malaysia, is more expensive than ours. We have the lowest cost of production in the world. Yes, it's a fact that their glass is subsidized and ours is not. We pay all the taxes that are due on any manufactured product, whereas the other stuff is subsidized. So we have a countervailing duty on glass coming in from Malaysia. Vietnam has not yet had enough glass shipped to India for us to make an application for that, but we soon will. And I think that should definitely, see some traction. Plus, at the moment, there is no import duty on glass whatsoever, which is in itself a little strange because there's an import duty of 25% on imports of solar cells. There's an import duty of 40% on imports of fully built up modules. So there is no reason that glass should be free from duty. We have taken it up with the ministry and we'll have to see what comes out of that. The other side of this of the coin is that we have operated in very competitive environments for most of the last 50 years. So we are no stranger to that, and we expect with continuing innovation and other measures that we take, we should be able to get back on top sometime soon.
Okay, Mr. Kheruka, on that, that import duty, of course, was available to you till recently, right? Not very long back, and then it was not renewed. You're saying you're taking it up with the ministry, and hopefully something should come through. Anything you can tell us? Anything more?
Not on this, because this nobody can predict what the government will do. But it's up to us to request them to bring us in line with the other inputs which are seen, which are being used in the solar value chain, and there's no reason to keep us out of it. So there are at least 6 other companies which are coming up in the solar glass field. So it's not that we have any kind of a monopoly, so everybody is going to be impacted by that, by the absence of duty.
Mr. Kheruka, just one quick question. Your capacity goes up to 2,000 tons by 24?
What we are going to do is the thing that the duty was not going to be renewed came as a surprise to us, and therefore what we are planning to do is we're going to stabilize production on the 3rd furnace, and then we will take up the 4th one. Earlier, it might have been that we would have taken it up faster, but maybe there might be a lag of 6 months or so from the time that we commence production and the time that we embark on the next project.
All right, Mr. Kheruka, let's try to get a couple of numbers then. From the next quarter onwards, should we assume margins at around 30%? Should that be the new normal?
I never give forward-looking projections.
Will it improve, Mr. Kheruka? Will it improve from quarter 2?
I find it very difficult to answer that question because this whole thing is very volatile. I believe that we have, I believe that we are operating at a certain level, and it hopefully should be around that. And that's what I believe. That's what I hope. But
so margins have bottomed out.
I cannot say so for a fact. But the margins are where they are now, and with new production coming in as well for us, things should be all right.
Okay, all right, Mr. Kheruka, we leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in. That's Borosil Renewables. By the way, the Bank Nifty is the one